which you could argue is like their fourth priority when the season starts.
To be honest, I wasn't shocked. There's a reason why people like Casemiro and Varane have as many trophies as they have. And regardless of the name of the trophy, to them, every single one means just as much as the last one. And the last one you win is always the one that you remember the most because it's the freshest. So as good as they are and as strong as they are mentally, they're just winners. And winners don't care what it is. It's just winning that matters most.
And that's not necessarily a given, though, is it, Mario?
No, definitely not. But what Stevie said, I played with Marcel Desailly. He was identical to that, what Stevie just said. As soon as we played the final, like I give an example, when I just got there quickly and we played like the FA Cup final, he was a different guy. He was in the dressing room. He just got himself to himself. And then he would just like, certain like, we could play 2 games before and we would be like, Marcel, what's up with you? And then the day of the final, oh my God, he was the best player on the field. So having those 2 players that won so much, Casemiro and Varane, it's just normality for them to play like that. Those are people that just come on to the game and just say, we're going to do it. But definitely, if you look at the team, they didn't even play that great. But defensively, wow, they look really strong. And those were the questions that big problems with before Ten Hag took over.
How impressed have you been with Martinez, Mario?
Very impressive, but I knew him from Ajax, of course, and you know we talked about his height and stuff like that. But look what the guy is doing. You know, he's strong. He's a real winner. His height does not matter because he's proven himself. And now, look, with the push that you get from playing in England and the admiration and everything that you want to achieve, I think England is a perfect country for Martinez to be there because the crowd will get him going, and you could see his performance is really good because of that reason as well. And Casemiro reacts to it too. He sees to the crowd, he scores the goal, he screams to the crowd. Those are moments that it's very difficult to explain that to people, but when you feel that, you understand it even better.
The winning fuels winners, right? That's where you get the inspiration. It's not for the experience. It's not trust the process. All of that is nonsense. You play because you want to win. And that's the thing that, in the end, is most rewarding. Now, there are players, and we've all been in locker rooms, there are players that say that they care about winning.
Right.
And then there are players that prove it on the field and prove it with performances, prove it with results when it matters the most. Those are the guys you trust. And whatever you may think of Casemiro, because he's a guy that divides opinions in terms of his behavior on the field. If you're a Barcelona fan, you hate Casemiro, but you hate Casemiro because you know that that's a guy that is going to win games and did win games for Real Madrid against Barcelona, and he's doing the same thing for Manchester United. It is a personality that a team like Manchester United needed and now is fully taken advantage of, because the leadership, you can see it in terms of his level of play, that's never in question. But the presence of Casemiro, and I'm only singling out Casemiro because of how good he was against Newcastle, but the presence of Casemiro gives you a different picture, gives you a different perspective about Manchester United, and it gives you a different profile. And it is proven on the field, off the field, when you have enough of those guys that are proven winners, not just for show, not just in moments that don't really matter, no. In moments that truly matter, guys that do show up, you have a lot of those in your team, you're going to win a lot of games.
This is what you had to say after the game, Casemiro. I thought of you for some reason, Stevie, because food's brought up. Anyone who knows me knows that I go for a ball like it's a plate of dinner. From Ten Hag's point of view, it's exactly what you needed. Yeah?
I was going to say before you put that up, one of the things I love about Casemiro is that, you know, we talk about there's no challenges anymore in the game and nobody kicks anybody anymore. Well, there's one guy that still does that, but he's really smart, and he only does it at the perfect time, when it stops an attack or when the team's under pressure or they're up against time. Just keep your eye on him. He'll just kick somebody and the game will die and the pressure will be taken off. He may get a yellow, but it's just smart. It's just brains.
Ian, are you surprised how well Ten Hag has done?
I think everybody's a little bit surprised. Of course, he was a winner in the Netherlands, but it's typical of us in the English media that we tend to pour cold water on that and say, well, that was just in the Netherlands. You know, wait till he gets to the Premier League. And of course, people were dismissing him in the opening weeks of the season when they lost 4-0 at Brentford. Terrible performance. Everybody was, shaking their heads in a very knowing way and saying, yeah, he's not going to work at Old Trafford. Nothing much had worked. But look at what he's done. He's done it with smart tactics, with discipline. He's great man management. Look at the Rashford incident. Rashford in fantastic form, but he's late for a team meeting and Ten Hag leaves him out of the team just to make his point, and the others go, well, okay. It was a poisoned dressing room last season. He's changed all of that around it, and he's done it in remarkably quick time. So, another player you should mention, I think, in all of this, we've talked about Varane rightly and Casemiro and Martinez. Luke Shaw, I think, he's going to be on any shortlist for player of the season. He's been great, not only at left back, his natural position, but even when they played him at centre back too. But, Ten Hag, everything he's touching is turning to gold at the moment. I think the only problems for United could be if Casemiro got a long-term injury or Rashford picked up a long-term injury.
Mario, of course, you know Ten Hag well, and we always kind of see this really serious persona, almost Bond-like villain when he's interviewed. We kind of saw that other side to him, didn't we? The celebrations with him dancing with Anthony and Martinez on the touchline.
That's a little bit how he is, because some people don't know him personally. Very attacking football that we play at Ajax. And then, of course, he goes to Man U. Now he's got to do both because, defensively you got to be strong, but still you got to, dictate the game, as much as you can. And how he wins games, he also focuses on, can I win the game and make it also look good the way I'm winning? And I think, the way he's performing, I said it in the beginning when he got the job, I said, great move, but as long as he don't do the same thing that we do in Holland. Because in Holland, sometimes we are too open. And then we become very vulnerable. But clearly he hasn't done it. He's first trophy, first season. Guys, what else do you want? If a manager comes in and he wins that straight away for you, you're going to be happy.
He's done everything right, Stevie.
Absolutely. He's done. I think the important thing is he's done everything right with what he's got. Because obviously a team like Manchester, a club like Manchester United wants to kick on now.
Yeah.
Yes, it's important that you win a trophy, but now they want to win a more important trophy, and now they want to start competing for the Premier League. And to do that, you have to have a base, and I think he's got the base now.
Right.
Now they have to start signing the correct players. I think that's how United have to look at it. I think he's proven himself that he is a Manchester United manager. The first one who's done it since Sir Alex was there. So now the owners, and considering the mess that's going on right now, that could be the biggest thing that holds him back, because he needs money to make the team better. Because right now, they're a team. We're talking about Casemiro and Varane and Rashford.
Yes, and Martinez.
But they're a real unit, and they play as a unit. And the reason they're winning games is because when the bumps in the road come, they stick together.
Right.
They're not beating teams because they're doing a Man City or a Liverpool of 3 years ago who are just running people over. It's calculated, and he's doing it in a certain way. Now he has to try and do it the Man United way, which is running people over, outplaying teams, having more possession in teams, creating more chances, having more goal scorers. Manchester United aren't going to win the Premier League if they're going to rely on one guy in the front three to be the goal scorer. And that means they have to go and buy the proper players. You
mentioned, of course, this is their stepping stone to win a more significant trophy.
Yeah.
Something, of course, Ian, they could do this season. In theory, they're still up for the quadruple. It's 150-1 if you fancied a flutter on that. The Premier League, of course, being the outside bet there. But you could seriously have a conversation regarding the Europa League and the FA Cup that they could go and add to the silverware this season.
I think you have to say, I think we said it in commentary the other night when they played Barcelona, the winners of this, though it was a playoff, will be favourites to win the Europa League. And I think they are. I think they'll probably be too strong for Real Betis in the round of 16. FA Cup, yeah, big chance, home to West Ham United this midweek. You'd have to fancy them to go through. So, they could do a treble. I think probably the Premier League title is maybe a little bit beyond them because they're, 8 points off the lead now.
Mario, what do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely with the guys. But the only thing is, like, they are so close, and I know Ten Hag's mindset. His mindset is to win big things. So even if, like, it doesn't look like, we will never talk about them, like the league-wise, right? But in his mindset, believe me, it's on his mind. He is waiting for one slip-up, and he will go for it because he doesn't know no better. If you become a coach of Ajax, before he took the Man United job, Ajax, you have to win the league every time, eh? You can never come there and think, oh, second is going to be good enough. No, you're not allowed. So being a Man United is no different. The only thing is the club is bigger.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.